AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Yeah. See y'all in the building climbing in. I guess we do have to wait a little bit. 4 people, according to StreamYard. On the YouTube, 2 on the Twitters. Formerly Twitter. Owned by... AllBall ain't getting into that, but that beef is getting real. With the Orange Man and the SpaceX Man. A lot of beef out here, man. A lot of gossip going on, man. Puffy trial is crazy. Getting even more wicked. The hip hop. How do you say? Debauchery. It's even deeper than we thought. Even though we kind of knew already. Corey Williams was good, man. Monkey Wrench in the building. Sandman, what's going on? All right, Sensei. Oh, I'm saying your name right because I always see you in the comments. Michael James, what's going on, man? Hey, listen, we got to talk about it. You ain't going to say no to Erik Spoelstra and all balls on the screen. You can't do that. Can't do that. Can't do that. He would not allow such nonsense. You can't. Did we get Spoelstra? No. No. How's Flea doing? Getting over his boy getting shit canned. Yo, Sam, man. He's not over it. I can't wait to flame him in season 2. I'm holding on to all my ammo. All of it.
Listen, THIBS might not ever get another job as a head coach in the NBA. That's going to show you how good he is. A la Bill Belichick. People laughed at me when I said the same thing. Yeah, y'all keep thinking that was old Bill. Was nobody knocking down his door when he got fired as the New England Patriots head coach. Same thing is going to happen to Tom Thibodeau. Guaranteed.
I guess the biggest difference is obviously the winning, but Bill Belichick has so much control with the Patriots that it's like you made a lot of enemies.
Yeah, but it's
you know what I'm saying? Like even with Tom Brady, that's Tom Brady, and we're watching you. Remember, the owner loved Tom Brady, so it felt like if you're a player, if you treating Tom Brady like that, you ain't got the respect for him. You think that you did more for this game than you did. I think as a player, you're gonna say no, and then as an owner, you're gonna say, "Oh, you think you got as much power and as much pull as me?" Nah, big dog, we're not doing this. So I think
listen,
with THIBS is different because he got the media. I can't believe the media loves him this much, and all the coaches. And remember, Rick Carlisle, he's the head of the union for the coaches. He's saying he should have a job, no problem. I agree with you. Like, why? But I think there's so many people in his favor that I will have to. If I had to bet, I'd bet that if he wanted a job, he could get a job.
I totally disagree. His coach, no, it's couple former players, even Jay Will, he even said it, which we've been saying for a long time. He's coaching like it's still in the 90s and it's 2025. And that's our problem as Knicks fans and as a Knicks organization and as a team. We want to go back in time. Today's game is sped up. 3-point shooting, big men that can slash, 3-and-D guys. Like, that's what it is. But we want to, for some reason, think we can be different. Bruh, it's been, the league has been what it's been now for a while. And we catching up late. Like, think about it. You got to have a whole lot of ball handlers, a whole lot of guys that could defend. Like I told you, you don't need a great big man to win an NBA championship. Who's the great big man for OKC and Indiana? Who's the great big man for Milwaukee? Remember, it was Brook Lopez. Even though we know Young, but besides the Joker and then AD with the Lakers, ain't no teams are making it to the finals. Dallas went to the finals with what big man? So it's how you construct things. Like I said, with Bill Belichick, you can't sneeze at the winning in the championships. But to me, it's the same thing. Bill's supposed to be a great defensive mind, but he knows nothing about offense. That was all Tom Brady. And then when guys, after it was all said and done, how many players came out and said, Bill Belichick, how many draft picks that he took that was terrible? Come on, man. Like, gotta call a spade a spade. You get fired. Nobody's knocking down your door. You have to go coach college. Yeah, and we're going to say he went to coach North Carolina by choice rather than coaching the NFL? Stop it. So for me, some coaches get too much credit. We are giving Tom Thibodeau too much credit. As Tom Brady deserved all that credit because it was clear he was taking pay cuts. Guys were going over there to play with Tom Brady to win. They wasn't going over there to play for Bill Belichick. Numerous players said that.
But don't you think? I think Tom Brady gets the ultimate respect. Like the GOAT of football is now him by so many people, which I still disagree with. If you talk about greatest career, I'll give him that, right? But Bill Belichick, he's still regarded as the greatest coach, but that's starting to, I think that's going to lose more steam than Brady being the greatest coach. I mean, the greatest player. Because the way they talk about Brady is insane.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just saying that, Tom Thibodeau got exposed. Bill Belichick, when Tom Brady left, got exposed. We cannot ignore that. We cannot ignore when Tom Brady left the New England Patriots, Bill Belichick got exposed. Like Jay said, you made me make another hole.
Right.
So, come on, man. Come on, Nat. Look at all these reports coming out. Come on, man. Like I said, Tom Thibodeau, my opinion, he rolled the back of Jalen Brunson. Simple and plain. He got everything he wanted, and he wet the bed. Bad. He got fired because of that Eastern Conference Finals. He didn't get fired for nothing else. They looked at that and said, the same thing can happen next year. No. Bye. And it's no way in the world you're not telling me other organizations and other teams is not looking at that. Bro, the way you coaches is not winning basketball. Sorry, it's just not. And how many players, we heard around the league don't want to play for? Remember, I just seen on Gil's Arena, Swaggy P was saying that whatever little stint Gilbert had with Tom Thibodeau, bro, the nigga said after one practice, bro, I quit. Get that nigga out of here.
Right. It wasn't even a real, it was a tryout. I think Eddie Jordan got fired, and it was a tryout to be the coach. And Gilbert Arenas wasn't even in the practice. He was watching. He was like, we're not doing this.
Right, yeah. And even though Jeff T, vouches and says, yo, I love Tibbs, at the same time, what he say? He don't coach.
Right.
He don't do anything. He don't tell you where to go, what to do, none of that. And for me, I thought that was part of coaching. Michael Jordan needed coaching. Do we not understand that?
Right.
Michael Jordan needed Phil Jackson to go, hey, trust your teammates. Pass the ball to the open man. We talk about the GOAT. The GOAT needed coaching. So, come on, bro. So when we, I don't know, but it is what it is. The job is already done. He's fired. I don't want to kick a man while he's down, but, like I said, all these people now defending Tibbs, not our brother Flea, because Flea's been consistent. Got to give him that. Got to give, love always. Nobody has been consistent more than Flea. And he's correct. You got to have a plan in place. I get all that. But everybody else, that's all of a sudden a Tibbs lover, and that's content, bro. That's that. Now, look, the Knicks is now content. So now we're going to, but nah, man. Like I said, Michael Jordan needed to be coached. Kobe Bryant needed to be coached. LeBron needed to be coached. When LeBron is coached, he wins championships. When he wants to do his own thing, it doesn't work. So for me, you know, like I said, man, you can't deny what your eyes is seeing. We should be playing tonight in the finals. You can't tell me with a better head coach, we're not in the finals right now. Sorry, but let's go.
Well, I did see a meme today that said Indiana, OKC. They got Adam Silver on the phone like, hey, Leon, go fire THIBS so we create this firestorm in the news because we ain't got no ratings going on. Right. Hey.
Oh, the beautiful, the lovely, the extravagant Miss Darlene Bryant is in the building. Good evening, Darlene. Y'all know the drill, fellas. Please be respectful and speak to the ladies. Thank you.
Listen, man, I ain't even hit y'all with the sauce.
Ball suckers.
No glasses. I mean, it is Knicks Rehab, but
Knicks Rehab.
It's Knicks Rehab, y'all. Sorry about that. I'm disrespectful. The brand is back. Love it. We got over 67 people in the building on AllBall TV channel, 6 on Fabian PerspecTV channel, 20 on Twitter. Hit the like button, share, comment, subscribe, get it going. Some of y'all think we troll. Some of y'all think, I don't know what y'all thinking. I don't care at this point. I just love talking to my brothers, my sisters in the comments, getting stuff off our chest, damn it. And it looks like, I don't know, starting to look like AllBall. This KD New York Knicks thing wasn't as far-fetched as we once believed or we want to believe. Big Shams, a.k.a. the Woj killer, the Woj disciple. He made a bold statement today.
I will say this: the Knicks. There was some mutual interest between Kevin Durant and the Knicks at the trade deadline. The Knicks made an offer for Kevin Durant at the NBA trade deadline. Obviously, there was no Kevin Durant trade. We'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks. So, do they go star hunting? But at the bare minimum, they're going to have to add some more depth. That's going to be a requirement of this team.
Kevin Durant always yapping, talking about the media don't know what they're talking about. You know, Gil. He's still doubling down on his cat take. You know, I love it because Cat got to go out there, elbow somebody in the eye real quick. But Gil's the one that always pointed out, yo, y'all be glazing Woj. The players love Shams for a reason. Well, this is your guy, players, new media, that has come out and he stated, the Knicks made an offer for Kevin Durant. Knicks made an offer for Kevin Durant. And the Phoenix Suns are in shambles. They got a new general manager. They just hired a coach. I'll get into that a little bit later, guys. AllBall. I don't know if I can ask you, what do you think about the Knicks interested in Kevin Durant? Where do you go from there? Like, what is your reaction to just the idea of Kevin Durant and the New York Knicks?
I love the idea. Oh, the beautiful, the lovely, the extravagant. Tori B is in the building. Tori B, good evening. Fellas, y'all know the drill, man. Speak to the ladies and please be respectful. I love the idea because it shows that we are trying to win a championship. You can dislike or like Kevin Durant, anybody, as much as you want, but you can't deny what he brings to the table. Remember, his game, as long as he's healthy, he can play in the league probably another 5-10 years because his skill set, he doesn't have to post up. And even when he does, he doesn't have to exert energy. Remember, Kevin Durant doesn't have to do much. All he has to do is get to his spot. And his spot is anywhere on the court. And let's not forget, he's a very underrated defender. He'd go up there and block some shots, and his basketball IQ is off the charts. He knows how to close out. He knows how to there's no mismatch with him. So I love the fact that we are attempting to go get Kevin Durant because that's probably the piece we need to get over the hump. Of course, we still need some depth as far as the bench, but this is what I'm thinking about. Why we can't fleece Phoenix? Everybody else fleeces teams. What if we could get Kevin Durant and don't have to give up Cat, OG, or Brunson? How about that? See, that's the part people ain't thinking about. What if we can get Kevin Durant and keep Cat, OG, and Brunson? That's what I'm thinking about. Now, if we have to give up much, then I disagree. Because for me, Kevin Durant, guys like him, Braun, they signed those 2-year contracts. 1 year with the option for the next one. But listen, if we could get 2 years of Kevin Durant with this team we have now and a better head coach, with the way the East is, with Tatum out, Giannis unhappy, Philly wrecking all over the place, can't get it right. What's to stop us from being the favorites and going to the finals? Kevin Durant is the missing piece to a lot of teams if it's constructed correct. You dropped him in Golden State and it was just clear cut. No question. I love the idea because it shows that, we see the landscape and we're going for it. And I don't care what nobody says. For you to win a title or compete for a title, you have to take chances. If you think every year you're going to just sit there and have the same team and make a run, look at Denver. Look at all the changes they made or didn't make. Look at Milwaukee after they won the title. You get rid of Drew Holiday. Look at all the changes they made. Look at them now. No, you have to continue to upgrade. You have to continue. Look at the changes Indiana made, adding Toppin and trade for players, Neesmith and all of that. Look at OKC. We're going to go get Hartenstein and Caruso. Look at the leap Cleveland made. Even though they got knocked out the second round, we're going to go get Donovan Mitchell. We're going to trade for DeAndre Hunt. You have to listen. The league is very talented. The game is fast. The way the game is played today, you have to match up with that. And for us, I love it because it's not going to be a long-term contract. And I forgot yesterday who said it in the comment, which I love that comment. With KD, it saves you money and it gives you a leeway and some rope to add some players. So I love the notion. And if KD is smart, which I think he is, he was a championship in New York. That automatically puts him top 10 greatest basketball players all time. Easily. And his career is resurged. It's just he rises back up like a phoenix. Now he's back in the talks with LeBron and Kobe and Bird and them guys. If you bring a title to New York and he winds up being a finals MVP. So for me, I just love that the front office is understanding, okay, THIBS, your way, it got us to this point. It didn't work. Sayonara. Okay, the roster we have currently constructed, we see the problem we have with teams like Indiana. No, we need something to offset that. So I love the idea. But I love the idea. What I love most about it is we should be trying to fleece them. That's how I look at it. We should be trying to fleece them. If you could take anybody besides OG, Cat, and Brunson, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the fleece, Fabian. That's what I'm looking for, the fleece. I'm not looking to get fleeced. I'm looking to fleece Phoenix because they are a mess. So I love it. I love it.
I think You said that right, because you know how you set me up, because you know I wouldn't agree with that if it was too much. And at this point, you're not with that. And at the very least, like even Bradley Beal is unappealing, but usually that's something you would have to take on and somehow restructure his contract, even though he probably doesn't want to leave because of the taxes or whatever. But I would think that that's something that they would offer to take off their books, because they want draft picks back and they want to. So I don't. Nurkic is gone, right? They traded Nurkic.
I don't even know. I don't know what's going on in Phoenix. I just know KD want to get out of there. That's all I know.
I think they traded him to Charlotte for the guy that was a bum that everybody thought was gonna be. They kept telling me he has potential. He went to Duke, but I guess it would make sense to get KD if you don't have to rely on him the same way we're saying about, overly relying on Cap, because we know his limitations. It's like as a number one or number two, he's too inconsistent, and just his attitude towards the game for whatever reason, it's not always there. But I don't think we've ever questioned that with Kevin Durant. At this point, it's just his age, like you said. He's already on social media, so he doesn't mind the engagement. He seems like he's always like, he came to Rucker Park, and there's a lot of legendary stuff to KD. He's such a mixed bag in this era. I don't know if he went to Dykeman, but he definitely went to Rutgers shooting from half court.
Oh, he might. I was there for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was that?
Out of control. Out of control. Has he? I think he did. I think he did go to Dykeman before, but what he did at Rutgers was insane. Was insane. I think he had 66. Insane.
And that was him in his prime and everything, but it would have to be the right deal, because at this point, he's already used to the media. He's already used to dealing with that kind of turmoil. So the only thing that I don't like about him is that he doesn't accept leadership. Like, at the end of the day, you're going to be a veteran. I'm hesitant on that, because we already got to deal with. We pretty much got rid of the Julius Randles and the people who don't fully understand what being a leader is in New York. And I'm not saying it's fair. Like, so many players complain about it. You see Gilbert Arenas talk about. I love that Gilbert Arenas said that in the new school. Like, yo, y'all New York fans are too smart. Like, y'all love basketball so much, you start rooting for me. And it's like, nah, we're not rooting for you. We just suck at the time. And if we stink, then we just want to see good basketball. But at this point, we ain't rooting for nobody but us, because we got a good product out there. We got a good team out there that we can root for. And that's my only thing with Kevin Durant, is bringing that stank to him. That stank on him. Sometimes you kind of stink, man. You got to own up to your shortcomings. You got to own up to the fact that, could you have done better by your teams? This would be what? OKC, Golden State, Brooklyn, Phoenix. This would be your fifth organization. You went to 2 or 3 teams in your prime. And a lot of these guys did that, Kyrie, Kawhi, Paul George, LeBron, all these guys did that. And LeBron is the only one who got away with it because he's a specimen. Only certain guys that could do that. And even LeBron struggles with that. And it's part of the reason why we wouldn't want LeBron on the Knicks. Just even Kyrie, Kawhi just shuts up. He's just quiet. James Harden, for the most part, runs to the strip club. I don't want nothing to do with the media. I'll curse out the general manager, but that's what he still holds on. He still holds that with him from the last 10, 15 years of the player empowerment movement. It ain't my fault. I showed up. I'm Kevin Durant. Y'all didn't do enough. And I don't want him to bring that over here. I don't want him to be in New York and he thinks he's only all he has to do is show up, and if we question him, he's gonna like talk to us a certain way or talk to the media a certain way. And it's like, bro, you can't get away with that over here. You can't. And I think we got the locker room to subside it, but that's still part of the risk of Kevin Durant.
Yeah, but I'm not worried about that. I don't care about that. I don't care what he has to say or not have to say to the media. Just win us a championship. listen, bro, he is who he is. I don't worry about that. I'm not worried about him not being a leader, or if he is a leader. I'm not worried about none of that. As long as that man can lace him up and play 82 games and show up in the playoffs and get us over the hurdle, I'm not worried about nothing else. Like I said, I think how he was in Golden State, I had no problem with it. I'm the best player on the team. In clutch time, give me the fucking ball. That's it. If him and Draymond don't have that spat, I don't know if he doesn't leave. So for me, I really don't have no problem with how KD conducts himself. I really don't. Because he is who he is. Is he a great basketball player? Yes. Do you want him to be the leader of your team? Maybe not. Okay, cool. But can't nobody tell me you don't want a Kevin Durant type player on your team. And with the team we have constructed now, where if we can fleece Phoenix and still keep Cat and Brunson, he doesn't have to take all the weight. Remember, KD in his sleep is averaging 25. And like, to me, a very underrated defender. And the world isn't going to be on his shoulders.
Still at 37 though?
Yeah, what he averaged just now?
We live.
Big Flea. They didn't even make the playoffs though, OG.
He got injured, Flea. I'm just saying I would take a chance on Kevin Durant if we can fleece Phoenix. That's my whole thing. If Phoenix is trying to fleece us, then the deal is off. But if we can get him and we don't have to give up much, because Phoenix is now like in disarray and it's a cell fire. But if we have to give up much, then of course for me the deal is off. But I wouldn't mind that experiment for a year. The same way Kawhi went to Toronto. Okay, it don't work. All right, go about your business. But if it does work, you bring us a championship. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that Flea at all. But like I said, it has to make sense. We cannot give up the house. Now, definitely, when y'all talk about that, definitely not doing that. No. Like you said, Flea, correct. 37 years old, been in the league forever. We are not giving up the house. So on that, I definitely agree, Flea.
Somebody said in the comments yesterday that I was trying to stay relevant, and I didn't understand what they meant. So I had to go rewatch what we were talking about, and like I'm getting somewhere. So stay with me, fellas. And they were saying I want to stay relevant, and now I figured out what they meant, and they basically meant that I want to continue to sustain successful seasons, right? I want to be one of those teams that you could pencil us in for the playoffs and 50 wins every year. Going to get Kevin Durant, we may win, we may make the finals, we may win a championship, but then what happens after that? Is that it? Is that so? I understand what I think it was a woman. She said like all Flea wants to do is stay relevant, and I'm gonna be honest. You damn right. I want to stay relevant because I know what it is not to be relevant. And so with a Kevin Durant move, does that cripple us? Like if we win a championship after, what do y'all think about that?
I think that's what AllBall's point is, which is the part I agree with. Like you can't. That's part of being fleeced. That we're not gonna mortgage our future for Kevin Durant. I think we have enough of a foundation where we could look for other options, and then we go back to Kevin Durant. We can't do that, and then they want to win a title. You didn't fire Tom Thibodeau for no reason. Like that was a bold move for y'all because they were. I don't know if they were aware of this media backlash or whatever, but you can't do that and mortgage your future. We're not doing that. Like that's why we said. I said normally teams take on a Bradley Beal deal because the former team doesn't want that anymore, and they're looking to rebuild. So. Just taking on Bradley Beal, losing OG, Hart, and Deuce McBride, and like losing some of these young guys, losing draft picks. Does it mean that like he's not worth that right now? We're not to show that much desperation at this point is a lack of confidence in the guys we got now, AllBall.
Both make great points, and Flea, what you just said, I get what you're saying, but I think. If Kevin Durant comes here and wins a championship and then he's gone, I think as long as we have some core guys here, especially Brunson, I think we can stay relevant. But once again, we're not giving up the house. Like I said, it's 2025. We have some smart guys in the front office, and I think you know, we've learned our lesson. No, you're not going to fleece us because Fleet, you're correct. We are not going to go backwards to where now we're the laughing stock for the next 5-10 years again. So, I think they're going to be very strategic and smart about this. And once again, because if we were able to get fleeced, it would have happened already. I think teams like we didn't go for what Danny Ainge was trying to do to us in Utah with Donovan Mitchell. To me, that's where it started. Like, oh, okay, we ain't going for the okie doke no more. So and then we still happen to be relevant after that. Because remember, we thought we had Donovan Mitchell in the bag, and it's like, damn, what we gonna do now? And then they turn around, get Bridges, Cat, you know, and we here now, 2 games from the finals. So I agree. It definitely has to make sense for the future as well. Like I said, if we can get KD and we don't lose none of the core guys, I think that sets us up for even if he does leave, it still sets us up nice as long as we got the guys. But I agree. If we got to give up 3-4 guys and all the pick, nah, we not doing that. No, I agree. We should not do that.
And I still want to go back to what the comment you made about like his attitude not mattering. I think that goes against all your principles about why you don't even like LeBron James.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you on that one too, Fabian. With OG, that his leadership got to matter, OG, a little bit. He gets away with not having to lead because he's quote unquote so good. But then when he goes to these other places and a Russell Westbrook or Steph Curry can't hide his lack of leadership, they're getting swept out of first rounds. He don't know how to come and just, his voice may not be the normal leadership, but you a great player, but probably the best player on whatever team you play on, you're already going to garner that type of respect. So why not try to use that to say, yo, fellas, we about to get swept. We got to come and play. It's game 4. Like whatever situation we in, he gets away with it's just in the name of hoop. And I'm tired of that with him. Like he got to come with something else. That's just where I stand with him though.
Well,
that's what I agree with. No, that's what I agree with, because even with the Golden State thing, part of the reason why it was uncomfortable was part of the reason what we're saying about Cat, with Gilbert Arenas still talking about him, Draymond, Matt Barnes. You got former and current players calling him out of his name. And Kevin Durant is dealing with that with the media. He deals with it with some public figures. Draymond's the one, like you said, who called him a name on the court. And forget about the confrontational part. It's what I always talk about with Cat and anybody else. How do you speak to yourself? Because if that's how you talking to us, you really just like making excuses in your head. That means you don't really hold yourself accountable. You're not going home and telling yourself, oh, I could have done this and I could have done that. It's always us. It's always somebody else's fault. That's what it feels like. So it would be a great environment for him. That's the plus to that. It's like it's Golden State, from what we feel. Great general manager, hopefully a great coach. And then you have a bunch of players around you that, yo, bro, you ain't even got to say all that. Watch me tweet this and they go crazy. Like the hunky-dory little roommates vibe, that's all intentional. They're not telling us how they really feel. Jalen Brunson made it a point to say, I'm going to model my image after Tom Brady and Derek Jeter. You ain't getting too much out of me. They mastered the New York media. And Kevin Durant has a problem with that because, I don't know, he likes to be real, but then he doesn't like to be real accountable. So it's that, to me, I don't know if it'll be a struggle with him and his teammates. I would think so. I would think if I eat off camera, I can't keep it real with you all, boy. That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? You coming to me about some real shit, and I'm just like, no, it's not my fault. And you're going to look at me at some point and be like, yo, this guy don't get it.
Well, I hear both of y'all. And, you know, we all entitled to our opinions. I get what you're saying, but I don't think, and this
the talent supersedes that, OG?
No, not that, Flea. But like, what I want to say is, if this makes any sense. So I don't think KD is a bad teammate. I don't think he's not a leader. I don't think he wouldn't say anything on the court or in the locker room. I don't think he would not say anything. I don't think he wouldn't say, hey fellas, let's gear up. It's playoff time. Like, I think he does all of that. He may not want to be a leader, but for me, at this point, the Knicks can use a player like that to get over the hump. And I think what we're looking from KD, all right, if it was 5-10 years ago, cool. But right now, we are really looking for you to be the easy money sniper. Nothing for me, nothing more, nothing less. I don't care if you don't talk to the media. If you get us a championship, to me, that's all that should matter. I think right now his name is what he should literally be for the Knicks, an easy money sniper, where you bring us home. But I agree with y'all. I don't think he's like that. But him playing for New York.
Let me interrupt you real quick, because in order to get to that championship, you gotta have these difficult moments in conference. Like the dude, what's his name? Not Ian. One of them guys, Fred Katz, I think it was, who I'm not a big fan of because he was way too like pro Thibodeau, and he's like all these media dudes. They pissing me off with all that. But
because they telling the truth, or they telling another side of it that you don't agree with.
No, it's clearly biased. It's clearly biased. Like that's
biased. They laying the facts out. They laying the facts out, and the fans don't want to hear the facts.
It's funny how the fans all feel one way, and except for you, and the media all feels another way. Very interesting, though. You know, corporate versus the real fans. But
I mean, you call it what you want. Like I said, I will be here in January consoling you niggas. But go ahead. Let's not get off topic.
I hope so. No, that's what normally happens with you, because you go flying like a Scud missile, kamikaze you as usual. But I digress.
I will digress. I'm sorry.
I think that thing that with Cat is real. Like, I don't know if it's all intentional either. Like, he's just a nice guy. Cat is a nice guy, but the nice guy, they didn't have the same relationship they had with Isaiah Hartenstein, who was sitting there trying to hold himself accountable. Like, what you need me to do? Cat is kind of like, they're saying he's absent-minded. Like, he turns like, yeah. And they're all saying he really doesn't know what he's doing out there. He's really like not doing what we want him to do. And KD, you know, whether it's defense or whatever it is, but at this point in time in his career, he should know what to do. He should know what best suits him on the defensive end, the weak side stuff, and just being a 7-footer out there. But I still feel like he hasn't been the leader of any team to take him to the finals and to win a championship. So he's done it before with Steph Curry, with Jalen Brunson there. He's done it before, but is there two baggage? Is really all my only question. Like, and would it affect us the same way with Cat?
I'm gonna be honest, man. I think he fits perfectly if it makes sense. Like I said, at this stage of his career, why would we expect him to be whatever we want him to be as if it was 10 years ago? But if this man can come in and help us win a championship, to me, that's all that should matters. Does it make sense? No. Okay, we move on. But if it makes sense, we need to move forward. And for me, being a Knicks fan, I'm tired of guessing or speculating or not going with my... No, listen. If it makes sense, make the move. If it doesn't make sense, cool. But we know for a fact we need another 1 or 2 players. Is it Kevin Durant? Don't know. But we know we need another ball handler, and we know we need another defender. And let's be for real. Kevin Durant is another ball handler, another shooter, and an underrated defender. Now, like I said, if we don't get fleeced, I'm all for it. If it's about fleecing us, no. So with that, I totally agree with you and Flea. It has to make sense, because if it doesn't work, what happens later? No, we still want to be relevant. We still want to be one of those teams that's respected. And like you said, every year we in the playoffs between the 2nd and 4th seed, gunning for Eastern Conference Finals and Finals. So I definitely agree with that, because we have had a taste of success, and I want it to stay like that. I want to continue to eat caviar. I do not want to go back to the summer school square pizzas. No, I want to continue to eat this caviar and these steaks. So I agree with that, but I'm not going to act like we can't use a Kevin Durant if it makes sense. If it makes sense, let's do it.
So real quick, I want to read this part of this article real quick to really tie into what you're saying about Fleece and Phoenix. What does that starting lineup look like with Kevin Durant with the New York Knicks?
No, I'll tell you. Brunson. Now, this is what I would do. Brunson. Because are we talking about if we get rid of Cat, or you just let me just use my imagination?
Well, you're saying we're not going to get fleeced, so that means we're not giving up Cat.
Right. So I'm pretty sure we're going to have to probably give up maybe something like, I would guess maybe Mitch, Bridges, and Deuce. Maybe.
But how does giving up Cat equate to being fleeced if we're going to get a Kevin Durant? If you want a Kevin Durant, you got to give up a good player.
Right.
They're damn near 10 years apart. Closer to, he's in his prime. Kevin Cat just was in the Eastern Conference Finals. This guy got swept out of 2 back-to-back playoffs with all NBA player teammates. Cat hasn't done that. Cat has 2 different teammates, 2 different coaches, 2 different conferences, 2 different conference finals.
That's my point. We're talking about team shit as opposed to what can this player do for me and what can that player do for me. So yeah, I know Cat been in the Western Conference Finals, Eastern Conference Finals, not by his damn self, and it ain't solely because of him. And the Phoenix wasn't bad last year solely because of Kevin Durant. So I just think if you're gonna trade for still a top 10 to 15 player in the league, you're gonna have to give up something.
Right.
I hold on, I agree with that, but I think also what AllBall's alluding to is just reading this article real quick. Suns hire assistant coach Jordan Ott from Cleveland, right? Phoenix Suns are hiring Cleveland Cavaliers assistant coach Jordan Ott to be the franchise next head coach. They narrowed down on Monday to Ott and Johnny Bryant. So they didn't hire Johnny Bryant, which again, I don't know if that's a bad or good sign for the Knicks if they didn't hire him and give him more money to put him in place. But this will mark the franchise's 4th head coach in as many years. Ishbia, the owner, and new general manager Brian Gregory, who promised a thorough search, considered more than 15 candidates, concluded his first season under Coach Atkinson with Cleveland. Art has no NBA coaching experience. Phoenix is ready for change, coming off a disappointing 34-46 season in which stars Devin Booker and Kevin Durant led the Suns to an 11th place finish in the West. They're out of playoff contention. So they hired a guy who has no playoff experience. They're clearly in rebuild mode, and they're probably looking for draft picks. So they're looking for a favor from somebody. So when you say we're going to offer them Cat, it's like, why would Cat want to go join Devin Booker to play with a rookie coach who's never had any NBA head coaching experience, and they're coming out of a 11th place finish in the West? That's doing them a favor. So yeah, it's a fleece for me because Phoenix is not in any position to ask me for more of anything. They're in a terrible position. So when you're negotiating with somebody that's not on the same level as you and they're looking uphill, you don't do them a favor. You never do them a favor.
Flea, what up, baby?
What up, my brothers?
Y'all both, I can't really argue with both of y'all because y'all making great points. But I would, okay, let's say we do a straight up trade for Cat, right? Let's just say. And now you have Mitch at the 5, you have KD at the 4. I listen, you still got Bridges, you still got OG, you still got Brunson. Now you have Hart, you have Deuce, you have Precious coming off the bench. I'm gonna be honest. That's why I say with KD, if this is done right, even if you don't give up Cat and then you give up something else, like I said, I would put KD at the 5, put Towns at the 4. Like, I think Kevin Durant, with what we have, to me, it just fits seamlessly. We now have a guy that you can give the ball at the end of the game. He's the ultimate baller. Like I said, I just feel we just can't get fleeced. I watch a lot of teams get good players these last couple years for cheap to nothing. So for me, why we can't do the same thing? Y'all desperate? Take this. So because we're in the position, like we hold the cards. We just came from Eastern Conference Finals. We the hot ticket. We are resurging people's careers. We are now making guys hotter than fish grease. Whether people want to believe that or not. Like I said, Hartenstein, the OG, like OB, like even guys that left us are still talked about and revered because of what they did for us. So I love the idea of getting them, but like I said, it just has to make sense. But whether it's cat straight up or whether it's 2 players and some picks, to me, it still makes us great because, like I said, the East, with what's going on with Tatum and Giannis and Philly being all over the place, I see us right back here in the Eastern Conference Finals again. And I think with a player like that, that gets us over the hump. That or what we need. Because we don't have to get KD. If we could get a ball handler or 2, another guy coming off the bench that can defend and can shoot, I'm all for that too. So I think our options right now, we have great problems. It just has to be done right.
Flea, I'm surprised you didn't take the bait. We make players hotter than fish grease. Well, who's in front of the stove? Who's
listen. OG, I love my OG. He's the illest nigga in the world. He's the illest nigga in the world. I'm telling you. You did. I'm gonna talk to you some more offline. You did some sales work back in the day. You was knocking on doors, making niggas. You did Vector. You sold the knobs. You did that back in the day. You did that because you was a fucking salesman, boy. Listen, I want to ask y'all something real quick before I like got into what I think about that. Do you want to hire the coach or do you want to make the roster changes first?
For me,
answer right, Fabian, because you love to be right. So slow down before you jump out there. Just slow down.
Hold on. I'm always right. That's the problem with y'all.
That's the problem. You always think you. Anyway, go ahead, OG. You were talking, my brother.
To me, it doesn't matter as long as it's the right choice. So for me, I don't care who because like I said, whatever player comes here, you ain't got no say so in that. Nigga, we just came from the Eastern Conference Finals. So, as long as it's the right move, where as an organization, as a fan base, it makes sense. To me, it doesn't matter which one comes first.
To be honest, it does, and that's
where I was going. That's why I asked. But go ahead. Right.
That was such an amazing question because I never thought of it. And all this hoopla is going on. I'm sick of all these candidates are coming out. That's why I put the shrug face on there, just like again another coaching candidate. And it is important, and I think now that you say that, they're gonna announce the coach before we trade for a player or whoever it is, because the hiring could happen at any given time. The trades can't. The trades have to happen after draft day, right around draft day. So we know when that could take place, even though they do always report like, yo, the Knicks and Phoenix have tentatively agreed to this deal and it will be finalized on this date. That does happen also. But we know for a fact the ink can dry up tonight for a head coaching position. And I don't think, especially for coaching, maybe a first-year coach you could take advantage of like that. But ain't no veteran coach going to come in here and you're just telling them this is your team and you're going to go. Can't happen. Nobody's doing that. You a vet. You got some skin in the game already. Jason Kidd's not doing that. If we got Spoelstra in the thumbnail, he's not doing that. Ime Udoka's not doing that. They're not. There's no guy with tenure that's gonna allow Leon Rose to take the entire roster, choose everybody, and say, here's a job with the New York Knicks. I can't see that happening. All those guys like to trade for players and sign players that are their players. Tom Thibodeau had his guys. Coaches have their guys. I can't see that happening unless you have a rookie head coach. That's the only way the Knicks trade for KD or make whatever kind of trades they want to before you sign a head coach.
And only reason I asked that, yes, the finals is on. Go watch the finals. We're talking about the Knicks right now. Go watch the finals. We still hashing out our Knicks and what we got going on. Go watch the finals. It's gonna be a great game. Listen, I asked that because if we go get a Kevin Durant, I would need a powerful coach, a guy that's going to come in there and be able to demand the locker room, right? Be able to demand the locker room. And bringing in one of these younger guys, innovative guys, although it's going to be dope because we're going to have some fire-ass new offense, the respect that he's going to garner in the locker room may not be to a Udoka, to a Kid, to a Spo. And if we walk Kevin Durant through the door, I want one of those type of coaches. If we walk Giannis through the door, if we go big fish hunting, I want a coach that comes in and quickly demands the locker room. Quickly. Because if we're going to run amok thinking because we made it to the Eastern Conference Finals and we did something, I was looking at somebody looking at it the other way around. We played with our food against Detroit. We lucked up and won against Boston. And the real series where it really exposed us was against Indiana. I don't personally look at it like that, but so many people, there's so many different perspectives. I'm just giving the other side, Fabian. There's so many different perspectives on how this season played out. So many different ones. So, end of the day, I think we need to find a coach first before there's any kind of roster moves are done.
I think I was saying the same thing. I just blamed it on the coach, and we disagree about why whatever you said took place. But except for the Boston thing, that wasn't luck. Like that was pure. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
not how I feel. I'm seeing people
liked it from that.
Talk as if the Knicks, because there's some that feel we underachieved. There's some that feel like we overachieved. I just feel like, we did what we did. Because I don't feel like we overachieved, underachieved. It could have went either way.
Regardless of why it happened, I think your point ultimately is, this is a big deal that took place. They fired a coach that was polarizing at this point. Everybody is a line in the middle of the floor, and everybody chooses a side. So the next guy has to have the wherewithal for all that. Look at Chauncey Billups. I don't think he's ever shook by anything, and he's not mentioned in none of these conversations. Not to say that, again, out of any one of these coaches, he has no mention. Like, how does Sam Cassell get mentioned before him? Especially going what you're saying, Flea. You have to have someone that's been there before, has at least had some coaching, and can take this on. Like, this is a major thing for someone to deal with. And THIBS, at the very least, what I always gave him credit for, which you overlook, Flea, because you never want to listen to me. Don't listen to two words I say, want to run amok, as the words you put it. He's a good media guy. That's the part where he could talk to people. He can convince these dudes. He doesn't look shook with the media. He can take on a lot of bullets in the media. Everybody else, you can see the fear in them. You can see them start sweating on that in press conferences.
Somebody in the comments mentioned PITINO the other day, right?
Oh,
and then I quickly see PITINO come out and say, it's just far too much pressure going into this job. I don't care who gets it. There's far too much pressure walking through the door with this Knicks job for the 2025-26 season. I don't give a damn who you want. Whoever you want, Fabian, OG, the comments, me, it don't matter. There's a level of pressure that dude walks through the door with right on his shoulders from day number one. And that's PITINO was like, I'm cool on that.
And it's not like he wouldn't know.
He's coached it before.
He's
coached this. He's been one of them niggas on the sidelines.
In New York.
In the Garden, right.
He was with Michael K when he said it during the Yankee game. Take that pinstripes off, man.
Nick job is over. You want it? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Nick job is over. Do you want it? Absolutely not.
This is what's happening to the fans. Look at the last name that was mentioned in the chat. This is the shit show that we created. Nigga said Jim Boeheim just now. This is the shit show. Get that smirk off your face, because this is the shit show that's created when y'all got what y'all wanted to happen. This is what's created.
Yo, you know what, Flea?
Yes, sir.
The hell are you so scared of, man? You like, yo, listen, man.
What am I scared of? I broke it down very well for you niggas the other day.
Huh?
Very well.
You what?
I broke it down for you niggas very well the other day.
I understand that.
Very well.
Fears when you don't understand or you don't know what to expect, right?
Right.
All you ever talk about is 25 years this and 25 years of darkness. Now we looking like Bane out here.
Yeah.
And you scared to clothesline a motherfucker. That's the part to me that I'm not getting with you. I understand we got rid of THIBS. That's your man. Cool.
Because I used
your man.
I used to think this nigga. I played on JV, and I watched this nigga on the varsity. I was like, yo, this nigga is fucking nice. For the first year or two, I was like, yo, this nigga is nice. But then they bumped me up to JV, and I got a chance to compete against the nigga. Regular weed. My point is the last couple years we've been good. We've been great. But we could quickly go back to just some regular weed. So all the thumping, that's what I'm scared of.
Right, but
that's
how
what I'm scared of.
It's
and I'll be scared. I'll be by myself scared.
But
all you arrogant niggas in the comments that ain't never seen winning, my OG in the middle, Fabian, like,
but
niggas can act like you know we about to walk into a championship all they want.
Take that same scenario you just gave me, and how do we see it from two different perspectives? And it's your damn lives. This is your experience. I see it like I saw a dude I thought was nice, and I crushed him. How come we can't take this opportunity and be like, yo, we got an opportunity to take, and we about to crush everybody? Like, it's so crazy to me how you see it that way. I see it this way. To me, it's such a great opportunity for us to do something that hasn't been done in our lifetime. That's what it is to me. The same exact shit you just said. Yo, it's time to step up. You stepped up to JV, what you just told me, and you demoralized the competition. Sounds like what the Knicks about to do, baby. That's all I'm saying, Big Fleet. Never the little one. You living up to your name. Never the little one. Huh?
The real point of that analogy was the nigga looked like he was nice. And then when I actually got a chance to compete against him, regular weed. That's really my point. Like,
we heard your point the first time, Flea. And
it ain't about
like AllBall.
That's what I'm saying. RP, leave me alone. Nigga, RP said Flea Bundy. That's mad funny.
So I
Poke High Flea is crazy.
Poke High Flea is mad funny.
I hear what y'all saying, and let me just respond to Rick Pitino first.
Okay,
nigga, we wasn't looking for you to be the coach anyway, so yeah, you gonna say hell no, fuck out of here. You doing a great job at St. John's, so of course he can say that. But best believe if he was sitting somewhere on the fucking couch and we called him, his ass would be running up to get the fucking coaching job. So cut the jokes. We ain't checking for you. We ain't been checking for you. Great job at St. John's, though. Hell of a job. Hell of a coach. That's number one. Number two, I'm going to say this. There's a lot of good candidates out there. And Flea, to your point, they don't make this move without having a plan. They have a plan. We can obviously see it. Now, whether we're going to agree with the plan or not, that's a whole nother story. But
I feel you. I feel you.
Watching how this is playing out, they have a plan.
I got real quick.
Yeah.
You keep going. Yeah. I just happened to see when I was about to finish up work, I happened to see a report that says this shit been in the works for months. Like for months. This is not some knee-jerk reaction. Oh, we lose Eastern Conference Finals and now we fire THIBS. I'm reading that this shit been in the works for months, no matter what the outcome was for this for this playoff run. Finals, championship, it don't matter. That was gonna happen no matter what. Go ahead, OG.
Yo, Flea, who wrote that report? AllBall?
No, I don't. I forget. I forget who wrote the report, but it was credible. I just don't remember what the source was. That sound like OG though. Sounds just like you.
You never know. You never know, right? But in all seriousness, you know, I said this the other day. Right now, think about this. We took over social media. We took over the networks. These coaches are just like players. They have attitude. They have swag. They want to be out there. They want their names mentioned. They want to be respected and revered. You can't tell me guys like Jason Kidd, Ime Udoka, Steve Kerr, Spo. Not saying we gonna get any of them guys, but Flea, you can't tell me those guys are sitting at home in their living rooms going,
keep me the fuck away from Madison Square Garden.
No,
that's what they keep me the fuck out of here.
Hold on, Flea. They see the love that THIBS is getting from the media. They see the love from the fans. They see what's going on. And I'm going to tell you the biggest thing out of all of this. We are a team that's ready to win. We're not the 5-10 years ago where you have to rebuild from scratch. Right now, we are high commodity. And I don't care what nobody says. It's no coincidence. Now, all of a sudden, news coming out. Spo and Pat ain't getting along. Now, all of a sudden, J Kidd. Bro, that where there's smoke, there's fire. That is legit. I don't care what nobody say. Houston, beautiful place. My brother lived there. You not telling me you don't go with the way he is. He don't belong on that New York sideline.
Tell you, this nigga's so.
Bro. So for me, I think a plan is in place, and I think we're going to fleece somebody, and we're going to cause a whole lot of hell because we about to get a coach probably that's already in a good situation. That's already like there's something that's going to happen that's going to be crazy, and I won't be surprised if it's J Kidd or Spo. But if it's not one of those, I think it's going to be the young kid Bryant, which I have no problem with. And I think the players, and even if we get a KD, those kind of coaches, I don't think they would have a problem playing with. But Fleet, there is a plan in place. But I don't care. I don't care what nobody says. What the city did this year for the Knicks, that thing outside, the way the coach, the way everybody was just revered, bruh. Somebody wants to be a part of that. And some of these coaches understand history. A lot of them understand, Fleet, if I win a championship as the Knicks head coach, remember, Fleet, they stepping into a situation. They stepping into where, okay, they ready made for the playoffs, second round, worst case. What can I do to this roster and to this team to get them over the hump? It ain't like they coming into Coach Washington or the Charlotte Hornets. And then you looking at
my man said stop shooting at Washington like that. He's getting it's hurting his heart. He keeps clipping every he says OG shoots at the Wizards every chance he gets. He said, "Can you tell OG stop shooting at?"
No, I mean, we ain't Brooklyn. We ain't Chicago. We ain't Toronto. Yeah, I shoot at them all. But
did I just see Tory B say go talk to Udoka?
Listen, bro. Fellas, all I'm gonna say is this, Fabian, Flea, when it happens, right now, the Knicks, we are doing the fleecing. We are about to fleece somebody, and it's gonna be legendary. That's all I'm gonna say.
Let me ask you a question, Fabian. With what you've been wanting to happen, which is firing, getting rid of THIBS, right? It's done now. So we got to go forward. You're gonna rejoice no matter who it is?
No.
Like, no matter who it is, are you going to rejoice?
I'm not comfortable with a first-year coach. I got to be honest about that. I'm not comfortable with Jay Wright. And you better, if it's a first-year coach, you got to have Jeff Van Gundy there on the sideline. I don't care if it's Jay Wright. You got to have Jeff Van Gundy there on the sideline. You got to have it. Again, I'm more excited about what does the rest of that bench look like? What does the rest of that bench look like? Because there is a guy, and we mentioned him already, and ain't the guy on the thumbnail either. I'm going to get to that in a second. But there is a guy. And I promise you, this is why you say the dot connector, right? Sometimes intuition kicks in a little bit. And this is out of nowhere. But it just makes sense to me right now. And the only reason I get to do this is because I keep my eyes on the prize, baby Bubba. Playoff basketball is here and is heating up. And Prize Picks is the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. And now that we're here for that championship game, for that B-ball thing, jump on Prize Picks and get an NBA discount drop. The finals discount drop. You got Tyrese Halliburton with, what you think, Flea? at
tonight?
13.5 points.
I'm taking the over on that. I'm taking more.
You going above or you going above or below?
More.
You can't use that.
I know. My fault. I'm taking more.
Over the moon. Flea feels over the moon about things right now.
Yeah. Tyreek's going to get about 15.
More than
about 15 tonight.
He's going more than 13.5 points tonight.
Come on.
Against the OKC Thunder, Lou Dort's dirty ass. We're going with Tyrese Halliburton.
Baby, they gonna be in that nigga back pocket. Caruso, Dort, Wallace, J-Dub. I can't wait to watch this shit. They gonna be in that nigga pocket, boy.
Flea gave you a prediction. Well, he's telling you what he thinks may happen. A premonition apparently has set upon.
Matter of fact, it's a stinker tonight. It's a stinker because you know he drops stinkers. Less than 13.5.
Sometimes your house goes underwater. And in times like that, you may have to keep your eyes on the prize, ladies and gentlemen. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize picks. Run your game.
I'm laughing because 1, 2, 3, 4 New York say OKC in 3. I think that's so funny. Like
that's bananas. That's bananas. Best Buy, thank you. Your name is probably the greatest of all time on YouTube. Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy, they scared. I'm not. Oh, they scared, but I'm not. Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy, Flea. You've been yip-yapping about Mark Jackson for years now. Why hasn't he got the job? Why hasn't he got the job? Why don't you? Your New York Knicks this summer. He ain't gonna replace THIBS. Too much pressure.
That's not happening this summer. And to be honest with you, that would take away from the pressure. I like that suggestion, but that would take away the pressure. Now Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy walk in the building, whichever way you slice it, whoever's going to be the coach, whoever's going to be the assistant coach, whoever you want to slice it, that may take the pressure off just from familiar faces and feeling good. The feelings will be good. Now the pressure is away. That might be good.
I got to Google that 1, 2, 3 New York. Yo, as you were talking, AllBall, I'm just thinking, we said it before, but all we ever hear is, yo, if you go after J Kidd, it's going to be a bunch of draft picks. You got to do this, that, and the third, a bunch of maneuvers. It'd be like similar to Doc Rivers when the Clippers traded for Doc Rivers as a coach from Boston. And even, before we get to Erik Spoelstra, even with him, Pat Riley's going to negotiate with us. Didn't he sound like a 10-year deal? And right when AllBall's talking, I said, hold on a second. Let me look up. Contract. Golden State Warriors coach Steve Kerr always planned on staying put alongside Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and the rest of Golden State's star-studded roster. Kerr finalized his $35 million 2-year contract extension that takes him through 2025-2026. He is currently in his 10th season. Out of all these coaches that have been mentioned, the Ty Lues of the world, Erik Spoelstra of the world, Ime Udokas of the world.
Don't piss me off.
A lot of contracts going on. Regardless if it pisses you off or not, Flea, you cannot deny that all these guys in contract, he's the easiest one to acquire. Because I don't want to say like Phoenix, but similar to Phoenix, they're not in no position to tell us what to do. If we want Steve Kerr and Steve Kerr goes, you know what? That was my last dance, ladies and gentlemen. I've been down this rodeo before. Fuck Mike Dunleavy and whoever else wants me to stay here. It's not happening. AllBall. What you thinking?
We had a live a while ago, and I brought up Steve Kerr. Flea, I don't think it's far-fetched. I really don't. I'm laughing at whoever wrote that. They said Curry, Draymond, and the star-studded Golden State Warriors roster. What star-studded? So Buddy Hield and them is star-studded. Like, so I'm just stuck on that. But Flea, I keep telling you, I'm 99.999% wrong. But that 0.000, whatever the other number is, I'm telling you, a plan, yes, a plan is in place. We are going to shake up the basketball world. I'm telling you, what they did to THIBS, whether people agree with it or not, and everybody has their own opinion on it, you don't do something like that without having something up your sleeve. You just don't. Now, are we going to get Steve Kerr? I don't know, but I don't think that's off the table. I keep telling y'all, this job is sexy now. Sexy. This might be the best job in the NBA right now.
Yo, all right.
Right now, tell me a better head. Right, hold on, seriously. Right now, with what you've seen this year from the Knicks, just from the fan base, from now the media, tell me what job right now is better than coaching the New York Knicks. If go ahead, Flea.
No, because I'm probably not going to answer your question. But I just, but it's part of me answering his questions. Chill, Fabian. Like,
that's great, because at least you know you don't. I feel like you don't be listening to me. You actually know going into the answer. I ain't gonna answer your question. I like that.
Yeah, because I could roll off a bunch of teams that I think are just better teams and a better looking job.
No, but now hold on. No. You say you can name a couple. Well, let's hear these teams.
I mean, the OKC job is a better job. Even the Golden State job at present moment is a better job, my opinion. Like the Minnesota job. I would like to coach Ant-Man before I coach anybody. The Minnesota job is a better. The Celtic job is a better job. I mean, I could run off team. You are no.
You are 100. Hold on, Flea. I'm gonna let you finish. You are 100% wrong. Now, if you're telling me those jobs are better because of the Rock, I'm not arguing that. I'm saying right now, the hottest ticket game. But you hold on, Flea. Hold on. No. Because I'm looking at it from the whole landscape. Listen, if we made it to Game 7, a ticket to sit next to Spike Lee was $100,000. I'm looking at all of that, Flea. We are the hottest ticket in the NBA. It's nowhere in the world. Hold on, Flea. It's nowhere in the world. You telling me right now, coaching the Minnesota Timberwolves is better than on the side at the Garden?
OG, what I'm saying to you is that all that allure and luster that you're talking about right now, you are the same person that if results don't happen, if the results don't happen, we don't give a fuck about that big party in the front of the Garden. We don't care about sitting next to Spike Lee. We don't care about that. We are a team, an organization that is thirsting for a championship. That's what we're thirsting for. So you telling me that this job is sexy because of the media and the fan base and because it's hot right now? These coaches don't give a fuck about that. I
totally disagree.
OG, if you really are coaching the NBA, you give a fuck about wins and losses, not about being sexy. That's player shit. That's player shit. I disagree with you on that. And that's fine. But these coaches are not watching TV worrying about being sexy. These coaches in the league were players already. They already been popular.
Flea, listen, I hear what you're saying. Bro, but it's a new day.
The city is on fire and they want to be a part. That's the only thing they want to be a part of?
No, Flea, we win in basketball games. We have a ready-made roster, and we are the hottest ticket. I'm sorry. We are the hottest thing in social media. We are the hottest thing on television. We lead the papers, the front and the back. Now, since we've been in the playoffs, we have been the talk of the town. You're not telling me coaches don't want to be a part of that. Yeah, you want to win, and I agree. If you ain't winning, yeah, I'm cursing your ass out just because that's who I am. But nowhere in the world you telling me right now if you're a coach. So Fleet, if you're a coach right now, you have the opportunity after seeing the season the Knicks had and the Minnesota Timberwolves had. Right now, you had an option to coach which team. What team are you coaching?
The Timberwolves.
Okay. Okay.
You are coaching the New York Knicks if you are Steve Kerr. The hell are you talking about, Flea?
Why?
Yeah.
Tell me why.
Let's connect the dots.
Tell me why.
Yeah. Steve Kerr says about his potential tenure, the contract with the Knicks 10 years ago before he signed with Golden State Warriors. Yeah, he said, I don't spend 1 second on that topic, largely because I already know the answer. I would have been fired within 2 years, and I'd be doing television right now. That's what Steve Kerr said 10 years ago about taking his job.
Oh.
Yeah.
But boy, have things changed since then, Flea.
I'm sorry?
Boy, have things changed since then.
How much?
See,
we ain't won shit, right? That's the ultimate, right? We ain't won shit.
I told you no matter who we bring up, Flea ain't gonna never be happy. I told y'all.
Here comes the fish called Wanda, just flip-flopping around as usual.
Because y'all are the bad bitch that's not bad. Y'all talking like y'all are pretty bitches and y'all ugly. We regular. We're not bad bitches walking around in the club knocking niggas away. We're regular weed. Stop this shit.
Actually, we just saw the Knicks knocking down bitches in the club a couple nights ago when they fired your man. Let's not forget.
Stop calling that nigga my man. I don't care about that nigga no more. What we doing going forward?
Okay,
fuck that nigga.
Your uncle, whatever he is to you.
Whatever, baby.
Listen,
whatever.
But you can't tell me that we're regular weed, right? You can't say we're regular weed and have that much admiration for that man who brought us to this point that you did not want to let him go. What is the point that you did not want to let him go, that you brought him here, that you think is a bad idea to bring Steve Kerr in for, who we've compared THIBS to Mark Jackson, the predecessor to Steve Kerr? It makes perfect sense. The tinfoil cap is on.
Wait. So now Steve Kerr could potentially come in here. Okay, let me be clear. We're not good enough. Let me say that. The roster ain't good enough. This nigga walked into a roster with the best shooting backcourt in NBA history, and we're about to compare that to this? Yeah, put that fucking tinfoil hat on.
Where did the Warriors finish before Steve Kerr got there?
What players did they have?
Listen, this guy said, your mama told you don't answer a question with a question. Where did the Warriors finish?
Semifinals.
The year before Steve Kerr got there.
Semifinals, the second round.
And he was on the sidelines and he was watching. Yo, I'm a former spot-up shooter, super role player. I know how to get this. Yo, Steph, get the hell off the ball, man. Yo, Jalen Brunson, get the hell off the ball, man.
And what we got over there, we're going to put the ball in Iggy's hands. We're going to put the ball in Sean Livingston's hands. We're going to put the ball in Draymond Green's hands. 3 guys I just named. I'm going to shut up. Name me 3 guys that we're going to take the ball out of Brunson's hands and put it in their hands.
You just asked me a question 20 minutes ago.
Right.
Would I like to hire the coach first or get the players first? This is primarily why you get the coach first, because he'll tell you exactly who will be the new Iguodala. Not Clay. Can't be Clay. Well, he can look for those guys. Steve Kerr's the guy who, again, that's part of the reason we're like, yo, THIBS, this is who you co-signing? You better know how to coach, cat.
Y'all definitely the joints. Y'all definitely the joints. I bought you a drink in the club, but then I walked right away. I was like, hey, you pretty, ma. Here's a drink. Let me get the fuck away from you. Y'all was that. Y'all was that. Damn, she bad, fat ass. Let me get her drink. Oh, her breath stink. Let me get the fuck out of here. Like that's what, because there's small things about us. We are hot ticket. Yes, OG. I agree. We are hot ticket. But we are not as hot of a ticket as you trying to make it seem, bro. We are flawed. You know we flawed. You said it yourself. You ready to trade for KD. We are flawed, bro.
Flea, we were 2 games away from the finals.
Yes.
And it's clear that we were outcoached.
For sure.
It's right? Right. Let's now we all agree, yeah, we need more depth on the bench. We may need another piece. We all can agree to that. Fine. But it doesn't take away from the fact that this flawed roster that you keep saying was 2 games away from the finals, and the reason why we didn't get to that finals, it wasn't because of the flawed roster. It was a coach that didn't know how to utilize that roster and make adjustments. He was out-coached. You not telling me another coach like a Steve Kerr or whoever that's just a better basketball mind and a better basketball coach can say, all right, get me them 2 players right there, and we're right back here in the conference finals, heading to a finals. That's all I'm saying. This roster is ready-made. 1 or 2 pieces, and we in the promised land. This season, it was because THIBS got out-coached. This is not dogging THIBS. Whoever would have been on that sideline, we lost that way, we were out-coached. I'm saying it's no way in the world you telling me a basketball mind like Steve Kerr doesn't come with this roster constructed how it is right now, and he tweaks 1 or 2 pieces, and we're right back here. You telling me, Fleet, that Steve Kerr cannot do that?
I just think that good coaches, great coaches, always have great players. And I just don't think, and I understand what y'all saying. You bring Steve Kerr in, and so now you start making the tweaks and the tinkers and things like that. But if we are happy, because we haven't put any, we've been talking the last couple of days about THIBS firing and Knicks and all that. We haven't put any responsibility on Leon Rose. Not once. I don't know if anybody's mentioned it, if we said anything about it, but we ain't put nothing on him about the construction of the roster, what the bench looked like this year, all of that kind of stuff. We ain't put no responsibility on him. And I just think if we gonna get a new coach, yeah, we got stuff to move around in the roster because the bench sucks. THIBS got dogged for not using the bench, and nobody wants to be honest. The bench ain't good. We hyping up Shamet, Cam, DeLon Wright, all of these guys that probably wouldn't get minutes nowhere else on no contending teams. They wouldn't play.
We did dog him for that. You and I did. We didn't like campaign. We didn't think much of Shamet. And the number one thing I said was you spoke to THIBS and he co-signed this, and you cool with your man coaching Cat. But I digress, because my point of bringing Steve Kerr up, regardless of the fact, is there's a bunch of coaches being named out here who are with other organizations, and it would take draft picks and finagling and negotiating. And if Golden State, if any head coach right now is in good standing with their organization and can tell their general manager, yo, it's a great opportunity for me over there, man. I wouldn't leave if I didn't think it was good for me. And I think this thing is, coming to an end for me. And I want to, I look up to Pop. I look up to Phil Jackson. And guess what? I'm trying to make my legacy too. Steph Curry's about to get up out of here. And bump all that is just the fact that he's in an easier position to go acquire than Jason Kidd and Spoelstra and Ime Udoka, who are all have longer tenures on their contracts. That's just bottom line for me. So when as AllBall was talking, I'm like, yo, that shit is totally possible. He got 1 year left on his deal. Oh shit, yeah, buy that out.
Be the greatest coach of all time, right, OJ? He come here and win a championship.
Top 5.
He might be the greatest coach of all time. Like,
Dead or alive?
Top 5.
He might be. I would easily top 5, 3.
Dead or alive?
And he creates a dynasty over there in Golden State, and then comes to New York City and wins a championship. That nigga might be lauded over forever. Steve Kerr.
I was asking for the link. Yeah, Steve Kerr. Since you don't like that, you had your tinfoil hat on.
I don't.
You was like, hold on,
y'all
wait a minute.
I dislike these coaches. Y'all are crazy. I don't dislike these coaches. I'm being realistic.
What's the realistic?
Steve Kerr didn't come to New York when his mentor was going to be the buffer between him and Dolan, because we still know Dolan's around.
Okay.
He didn't come here with his mentor being a buffer. There ain't no buffer. There ain't no. Steve Kerr is a championship level coach. We calling him top 5 all time. He walks through the door. He gets full of time.
No. Top 5 if he wins a championship with the Knicks. That's what I said.
Where do we have him right now? He's a top 10 coach of all time, right? Do we have him top 10?
I don't know.
Time? Huh?
I don't know. I don't know if he's better than Carlisle. I don't know if he's better than Spoelstra. I don't know that. But he's great.
Why wouldn't you know that?
Because those things
so well. Why wouldn't you know?
No. Stop being so sarcastic. Because
help me understand.
Where do you
help me understand? How do you know?
Because I said this before. How do you guys leapfrog Phil Jackson, all these dudes over Rick Carlisle when they had to put up with more? period. So Steve Kerr has one of the greatest players of all time. Top 20 in a lot of people's minds. Top 10 for a lot of people that's been watching the Golden State Warriors. But you just said something that was crazy, and I hate to extend that damn topic. I was trying to move on. How the hell can you compare the Knicks now to the Knicks then? And be glazing tips. Let's keep it 1,000 now. Glazing tips for bringing us to beyond relevancy, the Eastern Conference Finals. You're going to compare Steve Kerr saying, I ain't going to that hot mess. I got Steph Curry over here. That wasn't a struggle. You think he actually contemplated coming to the Knicks back then? Yo, Phil, that's his only struggle with it. Yo, Phil, you my man. I'm not doing it. Very nice about it. Very professional about it. Ain't no way possible he was coming to New York with that bum ass team.
Yo, that don't. Now Steve Kerr ain't a good coach. Yo, I don't want to talk coaching with none of you niggas though. You see now Steve Kerr is a regular coach.
I'm not saying that. Why would I say he's a regular coach and I want him over here? That makes no. So that's really my bottom line, is that he's probably more available than all these other coaches. Mm-hmm. Like that's plausible. That's what tinfoil hat came on. But you had the tinfoil hat on today in the group chat.
I did.
Yeah, please.
Because that one guy, yeah. Steve Kerr, I love. Udoka, I love. Spo, I love. If we could get them in the door, I would love that.
So who exactly is it that you love, and what are you hearing that make you think that they could come over here?
No, I love Spo. I was trying to get the link for you. Is apparently right, and it can't be far-fetched. They've been struggling the last couple of years. They've been trying to figure out how to get back to prominence of being that Miami Heat team. Pat Riley is 80, y'all. He's 80 years old. He's the age of some of you niggas' grandparents, and y'all still want him building NBA rosters in 2025? Like, nah, he got to get out the way. And so I was reading that apparently he's getting a little frustrated with how much control Pat still has. Get the fuck out the way. And if you don't get the fuck out the way, let me go. Because you can still see he wants to coach. He's still a young guy. This is not like he's been coaching for 40 years. He's still a young dude. And I think him going somewhere else, like y'all, everybody says, you didn't know Steve Kerr is a good coach. Let's go see him do it somewhere else. Let's go see Spo do it somewhere else. Carlisle got a whole nother team in the finals. A completely different type of team in the finals. Can Spo do something for us? I like that look.
I mean, for me, that's
your guy.
Yeah. Like I told you, I think Spo is top 5 greatest basketball coaches all time. What he has done, but that's a whole other story. But that thing with him and Pat Riley, I'm pretty sure that's legit. Because if I'm Spo, I'm looking at Pat Riley going, yo, bro, what do you expect me to do year in and year out with these rosters? You don't want to pay nobody. Our star player who got us to the finals twice asks you, we need some help. You let him walk. You ran LeBron out of town. Bro, enough is enough. So I think Spo got a legit gripe with Pat Riley. I know people probably don't want to believe that, but listen, we are human beings. How long is Spo going to allow Pat Riley to just run that organization into the ground? Every year, I got to just coach up Division III players, like guys that wasn't drafted. Bro, we Miami. Why we can't get nobody over here?
Tyler Hero being your best player going forward, that's tough.
It's insane.
That's tough.
It's insane. Bro, you let Jimmy Butler walk out the door. So for me, I think Spo needs a new place, whether it's New York or not. I think his basketball skill set deserves to be displayed on the sideline with whoever it is. And I think Pat Riley, being the stubborn old head that he is, he's the type, listen, he might not let Spo go. Like, he looks like one of them type guys. So, Flea, what you told us, I believe it without hesitation. Spo need to get up out of there. Because, bro, Pat Riley, you could tell, I don't know him, never met him, but you could just tell how he conducts himself. The way him and Alonzo Mourning sits together at games, you could tell. I don't want no parts of that. Them two niggas, they look like headaches. You look like you can't tell them nothing. It's a new day. It's 2025. You niggas still acting like it's 92. Bro, y'all don't hold a weight that you think you do. It's a player's game now. It ain't about the coaches and the GMs no more. They trying to get it back to that. But I think Pat Riley has been getting in his own way for years. And now it's out of control. You older, and I don't care what nobody say, the older you get, the more stubborn you get. Listen, if you 80 and you ain't changed yet, you think you gonna change now? Spo gotta go. No matter where he go. Spo gotta go.
You know, sometimes you surf the web.
What the fuck is he doing?
You stumble upon some things. And you start connecting some dots.
He put that hat on. He put that hat on. OG. He starts acting different.
73 weeks ago, which is a little over a year ago, if I do my math right, 52 weeks in a year. It's about a year, 2 weeks ago, to a year, 3 months ago, whatever the hell. I can't do math right now. I was supposed to receive the contract extension. And it behooves me. Oh, does it behoove me? Who congratulated him?
Yo, you really are the dot connector, boy.
Lord, I can't see.
CAA Sports.
Who congratulated
Yo, Fabian is a different kind of nigga, boy. I swear.
Who congratulated Erik Spoelstra with a new contract for their coaching client?
You was a writer on Scandal?
Heat.
Were you a writer on Scandal?
Scandal was such a greatly produced show, but I hated it. Like, the girl was pissing me off all the time. Kerry Washington is blotting me. But it was greatly done.
You was a writer on there. You was a writer on there.
I should have been. That right there was worth the tinfoil moment. That's bugged out. I never knew that.
That was worth it. That was. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it's a great job. Great job.
Yeah, that was a great job. That was a great job, baby. I can't lie. That was great work, bro. Because I'll take that.
And that's why the thumbnail was poetic justice. Because boy, oh boy, you talk about if we could get Erik Spoelstra up out of Miami and bring him to New York. That's major. That's major. We know why. We all think he's a great coach, and we know the beef. Pat Riley was offered a piece of a stake of the Miami Heat, so he owns a piece of the Miami Heat, and he left us via fax machine, if I'm not mistaken. Ran out of here high and dry. He was negotiating during the playoffs for the ownership stake. Can't really blame him as a man, but as a fan, yeah, fuck you, Pat Riley. If we could get Erik Spoelstra here and revitalize this thing, Adam Silver, you need to negotiate this to happen. You need to tell James Dolan, hey, you know what? Let bygones be bygones. All the litigation we got in court, we'll leave it alone. If you go get Erik Spoelstra over there from Miami. Because I think, hey, look, the Indiana Pacers and Knicks rivalry got revitalized, and ain't nobody talking about them finals. Everyone's talking about how they're not going to watch the finals. The Knicks made Trae Young hot, Halliburton hot. They made Tom Thibodeau hot. We did that. I think, listen, man, I think this could happen if we wanted to and if we connect enough dots. But you already know what my first choice is. But that right there, Erik Spoelstra, you sneaky mother lover. I respect you more than ever. That's genius, man. I'm going to go sign with the people that you don't like, Pat. Keep your ass in check, Flea. Love it.
Hey, listen, man. Last things I got to say is Knicks got to nail this coaching pick. You got to nail it. We ain't got to talk about nothing else. They got to nail. This is a very, very important hire that they make. You know, we having a lot of fun with it. Everybody in the comments, we appreciate everybody in the comments. Media, all that, everybody's chatting about it. But when it boils down to the end, yo, this is a super important. We can't fuck this up. That's where some of the fear comes from. We can't fuck this hire up, flat out. And I hope, and I think both of my brothers can agree with that. We may not agree with everything, but we agree with that. We can't fuck this hire up. We gotta, that dart gotta hit the bullseye with this hire.
Any predictions for tonight, fellas? Game 1, 2025 NBA championship.
I'll be brief. The game is on now. To be totally honest, I think Indiana will be lucky if they win the game. This should be a sweep. I think OKC is just clearly better. I think they have more than enough defenders that can guard everybody. But yeah, I'll be surprised if Indiana wins the game, to be honest with you. I think OKC has too much firepower. Yeah, so for me, and I would love to see Indiana get swept. They beat us. I can't stand Indiana. Yeah, I know how I feel about them. Love Mike Epps. Love the Jackson family. Everybody else, you already know how I feel. Tear your Achilles and all go to hell. But I'd be surprised if Indiana wins the game, and that's just being for real. I think OKC is just too good. But we'll see. You know, normally I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong, because I would love for a 6-7 game series. I don't want no sweep, but OKC just too good, bro.
What you think, Flea?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards OKC, right? I think they're gonna win this series handily. Probably a 5-game series. I think game 1 is super important though. Like, you gotta stomp them. You can't even let Indy get any kind of momentum, feel like they could, you know, be on the same court as y'all. Like, you gotta snatch whatever confidence they have, because OKC got the better team, like when you look at teams, but Carlisle been there before. They got a great coach. And so, you know, OKC got to handle, they can't play with their food, because they got a good coach over there that make the adjustments and put them in position to, you know, at least compete. So I got OKC. I got OKC in 5.
Yeah, same deal for me. I think they could get a game, because OKC, they seem to get bored. Like they almost lost that game against Memphis until John Morant got hurt. They would have lost if John Morant was there, because he would have put up 10, 20 more points. I think I don't want to say they fell asleep against Minnesota, but they really started locking in. Similar to Boston last year, where they gave away a game to Minnesota. They to Dallas. They just got bored, it felt like, because they were just manhandling Dallas, the full court press, and OKC could just do that. Like we weren't able to put the full court press on Indiana, and I think if Dagnall does that, forget about it, bro. You got 3-4 guys that could run that thing all day long. What you gonna do, Halliburton? Physical with you. You know me. I like Halliburton since he came to the league, but that's always been his Achilles heel. He's weak. He's straight weak. And who's me? Siakam. Let's see when Chet is on you, helping weak side. All these guys, man. Anybody else? They get nullified. Like the Nimhards, when he used to have 40 points against us and game winners. This ain't no torn up team now. We're dealing with a healthy OKC. Chet came back from injury and all that.
Hartenstein, knock on wood. Hartenstein, that's a different team, bro. That's a different team. They come at you in waves.
Hartenstein could kill them. He played them last year. He knows the Pacers really well. He's been in the Eastern Conference for 2 years. He knows what they go up against. So I'm gonna give the Pacers a game. And now shall go to Prize Picks and put more than 4 games for the series. Fellas, it's been wonderful.
My brothers.
AllBall suckers.
Are we live?
Big Flea, the biggest, never the little one. We'll see y'all soon. Be right back.
No, ain't nothing changed. Huh? But the change, huh?
Knicks Rehab.
Knicks Rehab, y'all.
Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. That's what we aiming for. Every day just going crazy. Ain't no Knicks games to watch and stay up until 11 o'clock at night. Everybody just tired as hell, bags in their eyes. We keep up with y'all, man. Appreciate y'all jumping in too, man. Showing us a lot of love, a lot of hate out there. Who cares? Who cares? Y'all feel this? Y'all feel this? Huh? Ask you like Snoop Dogg. Y'all don't love us? Y'all don't love us? Talking about tomorrow, baby, 7 p.m. That's Friday, end of the week. Might sneak in a weekend thing or two. Not sure yet.
We'll be here though.
AllBall TV, man. AllBall TV. They scared, but I'm not. They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.